Folks, one time, Mama called Johnny, said, son, get up, you got to go to school. Johnny said, I don't want to. Mama said, you got to. Johnny said, I don't want to. Mama said, you got to. Johnny said, Mama, there are 100 teachers in school. Nobody likes me. And there are 1,000 students in school. They all hate me. Give me one good reason why I should go to school. Mama said, son, I'll give you two good reasons. Number one, you are 40 years old. And number two, you are the principal of the school. So you have to go. So, folks, I was given a little brief. But let me ask you, if you got something to write on, please do. As I said, I'm the student, you are the principal. Supposing you were in a position of an employer, which most of you are, and you were to hire an employee, and an employment agency came up to you and said, we have a pool of 1 billion people. Any kind of person you want, we got it. What qualities would you be looking for in this person who's going to work for you? Somebody raise your hand. Give me an answer. What qualities would you be looking for in this person who's going to work for you? Somebody give me an answer. Sir, good attitude. Now, could I make a request to all of you? I believe all of you have a mobile, don't you? Everybody, you got mobile? Yeah? Can everybody put your mobile in your hand, please? Can everybody put your mobile in your hand, please? Could you please get your mobile in your hand, everybody? Everybody, kindly get your mobile all the way up. And now, kindly switch it off, please. Kindly switch it off. Kindly switch it off. Please switch it off. Kindly switch it off. Folks, let me ask you, if I keep my mobile on, and every 10 minutes it keeps flashing or vibrating in my pocket, tell me, would it be courteous to you people? Yes, no? Okay, can we practice courtesy both sides, please? Hold this mic. All right. Kindly switch it off, please. Now, question is, supposing you are in a position of an employer and you were to hire an employee and an employment agency came up to you and said, we got a pool of 1 billion people. Any person you want, we got it. What qualities would you be looking for in this person who's going to work for you? Somebody said something here this side. What qualities would you be looking for? You ask, you will get it. You don't ask, you will not get it. Job qualification makes no difference. What qualities would you be looking for in this person who's going to work for you? Somebody raise your hand, please. Okay, thank you, sir. He said positive mental attitude. Folks, if you remember, the world champion on boxing was Muhammad Ali. The man, when he used to go into the ring, what did he say? He used to say, what? He used to say, I'm the champion, I'm the champion. I'm the best, I'm the champion, I'm the best, I'm the champion, I'm the best, I'm the champion, I'm the best. He used to walk into the ring and he used to look at his opponent and he used to say, you have the title, but I'm the champion. You have the title, but I'm the champion. You have the title, but I'm the champion. Folks, before he ever became the champion inside the ring, he became the champion outside. Are you with me? He became the champion outside. Now, when he was saying, I'm the greatest, I'm the champion, I'm the greatest, I'm the champion, what was he doing? He was psyching himself up mentally. He was psyching himself up. That was positive attitude. Now, folks, how many agree that with positive attitude, everything in life is possible? Please raise your hand. Okay, please raise your hand. Incorrect answer. Folks, I don't care how positive I am. I cannot do a kidney transplant on you and have you live. You'd be dead. Folks, when Muhammad Ali was doing his positive thinking, I'm the greatest, I'm the champion, he was not sitting in the living room watching TV, having popcorn, drinking Coca-Cola all the time. While he was doing his positive thinking, he was in the ring punching the bag all the time. He was punching the bag. Folks, this is a myth that with positive thinking, everything is possible. Totally a myth. See, folks, positive thinking does not guarantee success. Positive thinking with positive actions and efforts increases our probability of success. I repeat, positive thinking does not guarantee success. But positive thinking along with positive actions and efforts increases our probability of success. Folks, my new book, which was launched in London 3 months ago, and then in Canada and in India also, You Can Achieve More. The book opens with one thing: a person with a positive attitude cannot be stopped. And a person with a negative attitude cannot be helped. Are you with me? You can't help that person. I repeat, a person with a positive attitude cannot be stopped. And a person with negative attitude cannot be helped. No matter what you do. And the subtitle to the book is, if you want to stand out, you need to do something outstanding. Are you with me? If you want to stand out, you need to do something outstanding. How so true? Folks, and the book says, people say, I want to have an extraordinary life. I want to have extraordinary success. I want to have an extraordinary income. But you know something? They need to ask, are you an extraordinary person? Do you have extraordinary commitments in life? Do you have extraordinary enthusiasm in life? Do you have extraordinary relationships in life? Are you willing to work extraordinarily hard in life? Do you have extraordinary integrity in life? If you don't have anything, you will never get any of those things. Are you with me? We must be something before we can get anything in this world. Folks, those who have heard me before, this might be just a repeat of another 5 minutes, but I'll share with you. I remember January 1973 very distinctly. We had coal mines in India, close to 1,000 people working, and I didn't create them. I inherited them, and the mines got nationalized. The government took over. And we came on the street means street. Some families had money. Our family did not. My father had died when I was in college. We were left the liabilities and the assets were gone. And I was married just 4 weeks then. Some of you are calculating my age, but that's your problem. Now, folks, we started selling little things to get money for food. And I remember a year later, my daughter was born. I sold some of the last piece of my mother's jewelry to get released from the hospital. Did not have $10 to buy milk that night. I tried my hands on 3 businesses with no money, and I failed in all. Finally, November 13, 1975, initially I went to Toronto, rented a 1-bedroom place. We were sleeping on the floor. We had no furniture. And I started life with a bucket in my hand, washing cars door to door. For almost a year and a half, I used to go to door with a bucket in my hand, washing cars. Right about that time, I saw an ad in the newspaper, you want to make some extra money, do the door-to-door demos for vacuum cleaners. Have you seen those people, folks, who come home and do demos for vacuum cleaners? Yes, no? Okay. So I responded to the ad. And I said, daytime, I will wash cars. Evening time, I will do the demos. Folks, One day I was doing a demo in an Indian family's home, and for every demo you do, you get paid $5. And I was genuinely naive. I thought we only had to do the demo and not to sell. So I used to go to an apartment building, knock a door. When the lady or the man used to open, I used to say, "Sir, you don't have to buy the vacuum cleaner. All that you got to do is take a demo and I'll get paid $5. So some people took pity, let me come in. Some people kicked me out. Some people slammed the door. That was fine. One day, I was doing a demo in an Indian family's home, and the man and woman were sitting on the sofa and I was on the floor. This man, instead of looking at the vacuum cleaner, he kept looking at me all the time. So I asked him, "Sir, did I do something wrong?" He said, "No." I said, "Why do you look at me this way?" He asked me, "Shiv, have you ever sold life insurance?" I said, "Man, what kind of question is this? I'm demoing vacuum cleaners. You're asking me, have I sold life insurance?" I said, "No, I have never sold life insurance and I never will, because I remember back home in India that agent, that pest who used to come to my home would not leave my life for 3 hours till I signed the application." No wonder they call them life insurance agents. They don't leave your life. Folks, I said, "I will never be that pest in my life." He said, "No, Shiv, it doesn't work that way here. Look at me. I'm a life insurance agent. Look at my lifestyle. I drive a Lincoln." Later on, I came to know he was working for MetLife, and they had a recruitment drive going on. If you recruited a new salesperson, you would get a Samsonite briefcase. So I was the briefcase. Are you with me? I finished the demo and I said, "Thank you, but no thank you." But when you cannot go straight, you go the other way around. We were living in the same building, and somehow his wife became friendly with my wife and convinced her that selling life insurance was the right thing to do. And my wife also knew we couldn't go through life washing cars. We had to do something different. And I had a family to support. I had a little daughter, and my wife also knew my failure record in life was pretty good. Even in school, I wasn't the brightest kid. In my 8th grade, I was the backbencher troubling the front benchers. That's why they called me most outstanding students. I used to stand out all the time. So, bottom line was, in my 8th grade, out of 6 or 7 subjects, I failed in all except one. So my principal called me and said, "Shiv, you are paying too much attention on one subject." Folks, out of 28 kids, I was number 27 because the 28th was absent. No kidding. My principal used to call my parents and tell them, "Get this kid out of the school. He's one kid who is going to bring the average of the school." I was bringing the average down. I told my wife, I said, "I'm not selling life insurance." She said, "Shiv, to sell life insurance, you got to take an exam. Why don't you take an exam, and if you pass, you have a choice. Right now you have no." I said, "All right, I'll take the exam, but I won't sell." Folks, I took the exam, and guess what? I passed. And this person who got all that started took me to his office, introduced me to his district manager, was a very sharp elderly man by the name of Joe Bonney. As I walked in, he congratulated me, and he says, "Shiv, if you become a life insurance agent right now, I will give you a draw for $150 a week." And he said, "You have time to decide before I withdraw the offer." He said, "You got 30 seconds. I said, "Joe, you said you'll give me time to think." He said, "You have 20 left." I said, "I'll take it." And folks, now I became a life insurance agent, which I never in my life ever wanted to be. They gave me the book, gave me a little training, and they said, "Boy, go sell." And folks, for the next 3 months, I went out selling. I put in 100%. Why 100%? I put in 200%. We all can tell when we've done our best. We all can tell when we've not done our best. I can look at the mirror and say, I did my best. And guess what? I broke the company's record. Well, obviously you're not impressed. Folks, oh, thank you, sir. I'm grateful and grateful. Well, wait till you find which record I broke. You'll clap second time. How many sales I made, folks, in 3 months? Almost none. That's the record I broke. So my manager called right back. And he said, I've been in this life insurance business 35 years. And he said, I've seen some slow starts in my life. He said, but I've never seen one like you. Folks, what he said after that, I'm not going to repeat because I'm being recorded. He said, don't come back tomorrow, you're fired. I said, Joe, wait a minute. Before you fire me, at least hear me out. I'm not an educated person. I'm not a doctor, engineer, attorney, accountant. I'm a BCom 3rd division, failed in my 10th. I said, I got a handicap. How do you expect performance out of me? Folks, the moment I said that day, somebody spoke very harshly to me. I'm glad he did. Later on, I realized it was not anger, it was concern. And here's what he said to me 40 years ago. I was standing in his room, and he said, you shut up. He said, you shut up and listen to me. And he said, you don't have a handicap, you got a bad attitude. And he said, it is people like you who not only ruin their own lives, but they also ruin their family's life too. He said, do you know who has a handicap in life? He said, the doctor, engineer, attorney, accountant, they all have handicaps. I said, boy, I never heard that one. How do they have handicaps? He said, go check out all over the world. It is generally true, exceptions different. They all have chosen the field they are stuck. Hello? He said, they all have chosen the field they are stuck. And he says to me, you haven't chosen your field. Don't you see the world is open to you? Thank you, sir. I said, Joe, I never thought from that point of view. He said, now that you're fired, he said, you got all the time to think. He said, leave my office. Folks, that day, 43 years ago, I left his office. That evening, I had an appointment about 30 miles away because all our appointments were made 1 week in advance. Folks, I decided to keep that appointment because I knew I had no job next day. I might or might not get paid for it. But I went for the appointment that evening. It was 6:30 while I was driving. Having failed one after the other in my life, that night I was feeling very depressed. And folks, I don't know what happened to me. I just burst out into crying. I was alone. I kept driving, kept praying. I couldn't understand what was going on in my life. How could an adult not know how to earn a living? I had a family to support. I had a little daughter. I didn't know how to put bread on the table for the family. I kept crying, kept praying. Folks, that night, that 30 miles seemed like 30 years. It's a lot easier to talk about it tonight. It was not easy that night. Finally, 7 o'clock, I reached my appointment. I got a handle on myself. Went up, started selling. I got in at 7. By the time the man looked at his watch, it was 11:30. 4.5 hours I was there. I still not made a sale. No wonder they call life insurance agent pests. The man says to me, do you realize what time it is? It's a polite way of saying, get out. Then he said, I have to go to work tomorrow morning. Don't you realize it's another polite saying, get out now. But somehow, I wasn't leaving that night. He looked at me, I looked back at him. I don't know what happened around 11:30. He asked me, what does it take to get rid of you right now? I thought he was asking me the rates. I opened the book back again, looked at his age, looked at the factor, multiplied with insurance, and I said, sir, that would be $27.58. He said, what? I said, sir, $27.58. He looked at me disgustingly. And he says to me, if it was $27.58, why didn't you tell me 4.5 hours ago? He wrote me a check and he says, take this and get out before I change my mind. Are you with me? Folks, that was one of my first sales. Came home midnight. Next day morning, I went to my office. I went to my manager and I said, Joe, I got an application today. It's a small one, but it's a bound one with a check, because without a check has no meaning. And I said, Joe, will you let me stay? I said, if you fire me today, I know where to go. And the only place I know where to go is go back to washing cars. And I said, I don't want to do that anymore. I have a family to support. I have a little daughter. And I said, I make one commitment to you. I will not let you down because of my effort. But please withdraw the papers. He looked at me and he says, Shiv, that's not your small one. That's your big one. He said, I'll let you stay here only if you make a commitment not to me, but to, said, but yourself. I'll let you stay. Folks, that day I made a commitment, and that was one of the turning points in my life. And don't we all have some turning points? Yes, no. Hello? And he withdrew the papers that day. And that year I went ahead, sold close to $1 million. Next year, $3 million. Year after, $5 million. Moved on to the U.S. I got into 3 businesses, and I bought out a company out of California in 1984. Started the New Jersey operation with no clients, and I sold my company with close to 500 clients for a decent sum. Now, folks, why do I share my life with you? For a few reasons. Number one, very important, number one, I kept failing all my life and kept blaming the whole world for my failure, not realizing that I was my own biggest problem. Nothing changed outside. Something changed inside, and the direction in my life changed. And folks, let me ask you, many times in life, aren't we our own biggest problem? Yes, no. Yes, no. And folks, one more thing I learned. All our appointments were made 1 week in advance. And I learned one thing. If you don't have appointments made 1 week in advance, and if you wake up in the morning and you start thinking, let me see what I have to do today, you are unemployed with a job. Are you with me? I repeat, if you don't have appointments made 1 week in advance, and if you wake up in the morning and you start thinking, let me see what I have to do today, you are unemployed with a job. And I learned one thing. There are more people in this world who are not working than there are people who are unemployed. Are you with me? I repeat, there are more people in this world who are not working than there are people who are unemployed. And folks, that is where I address maybe 100, 200,000, 250,000 people every year. And I hate to seek a show of hands. How many people do not have appointments made 1 week in advance? Folks, more than 90% people do not have appointments made 1 week in advance. They do not. And folks, I was on commission. I only got paid if I produced results. But there were many people who were getting salaries and they were not working. Are you with me? Hello? They were getting salaries and they were not working. And that is where I understood the difference between making money versus earning money. Hello? That is the difference between making money versus earning money. Making money is criminal. Earning money is spiritual. Are you with me? Making money is criminal. Earning money is spiritual. That is where I understood that wages without work amounts to stealing. Hello? Wages without work amounts to stealing. Folks, and when my manager said to me, you shut up and listen, I learned one thing, that sometimes in life you got to be unkind to be kind. Yes, no. Hello? Sometimes in life you got to be unkind to be kind. And that shut up taught me one lesson. He did not say that to me as a manager. He spoke to me that day as a leader, coach, mentor, teacher, as a parent. I repeat, he did not talk to me as a manager that day. He spoke to me as a leader, mentor, teacher, coach, parent. And that day I realized, folks, that the greatest coaches in the world are the greatest critics in the world. Are you with me? Hello? The greatest coaches in the world are the greatest critics in the world. Now, when an athlete does not perform well, if the coach remains silent, is he a good coach? No. But you see, a good coach criticizes in a constructive manner. What is constructive criticism? Folks, the objective of constructive criticism is, the objective is to correct and not to punish. Are you with me? The objective is to correct and not to punish. And that is where I learned that so long as criticism is painful to the giver, they have a right to give constructive criticism. But the moment criticism becomes a pleasure to the giver, they have no more right to criticize. Thank you, sir. They have no more right to criticize. And that is where I learned one thing, that there are only two relationships in life that care to correct. I repeat, only two relationships in life care to correct. World does not correct. World only punishes. What are the two relationships? Folks, only parents and teachers in life care to correct. The world punishes. Are you with me? The world punishes, world does not correct. Only parents and teachers correct in life. Are you with me, folks? Hello? And that is what I understood. यार ये टेबल इधर कर दो और पानी इधर कर दो मेरे को जरा. छोटी टेबल इधर कर दीजिए. उधर सामने कर दीजिए और पानी यहाँ कर दीजिए. And folks, that is where I understood the difference between a promise and a commitment. Can somebody give me a difference between a promise and a commitment? What is the difference? Somebody give me an answer. Please raise your hand. I know. Yes, sir. Oh, promise is to others. Commitment is to self. Do you agree with that, folks? Yes, no? Absolutely. Folks, I got to give him a prize for that one. Give me a hand, please. All right. Sir, I'm going to give you my book. You can achieve more. Give me a big hand, please. Can you pass it on? Jaldi se dekhiye. Folks, how well said. Promise is an agreement we make with others. Commitment is an agreement we make with ourselves. And that is where I learned that moral commitments are much stronger than legal commitments. Are you with me? Moral commitments are a lot stronger than legal commitments. All right, folks, this is for positive mental attitude. Now, folks, especially here, whenever you see a success story, what do you hear people saying? this person must be what? He must be lucky. He must be at the right place at the right time. Folks, this is incorrect information. I've given the book to the gentleman. I have completed this book, which says he must be at the right place at the right time. No. The complete sentence is, you must be the right person at the right place at the right time. If you are not the right person there, you could still be at the right place and the right time and do nothing in life. Are you with me? You got to be the right person at the right place at the right time. It is not luck. It is not luck. I'd like to share on what is on luck. We have this quote which says, winners don't do different things, they do things differently. And many times people ask me, what do they do differently? And my answer is, folks, winners form the habit of doing things losers don't like to do. I repeat, hello? Winners form the habit of doing things losers don't like to do. And what are the things losers don't like to do? They're the same things winners don't like to do either, but they do it anyway. See, losers don't like to get up in the morning. Folks, winners don't like to get up in the morning either, but they get up anyway. Are you with me? See, losers don't like to work hard. Winners don't like to work hard either, but they work hard anyway. Are you with me, folks? Hello? But they work hard anyway. Winners form the habit of doing things losers don't like to do, and they're the same things. Folks, how many times have you heard people saying like this? This person is just lucky. Every time he touches dirt becomes gold, and this person is just unlucky. Every time he touches gold becomes dirt. Have you heard that? Yes, no. Yes, no? Give me a big yes, no. Okay. See, folks, when people say this person is just lucky, every time he touches dirt becomes gold, analyze their life. Analyze every transaction in their life. The positive behavior has become habitual. Every time they do it, they just do it right. It happens right because the reflexes move right. Because I don't care how old we are, our parents said one thing, form good habits and habits form characters. Yes, no. See, form good habits and habits form characters. Because 90% of our behavior is what? It's habitual. And if we have positive habits, we are a positive character. And if we have negative habits, we are a negative character. And good habits are hard to come by, but they're easy to live with. Bad habits come easy, but they're hard to live with. And before we got the habits got us. Yes, no. Before we got the habit has got us. Now, folks, I share this only for those people specifically who talk of luck. See, folks, if we have to do anything well in life, it must become reflex action. It must come automatic. If we have to think to do the right thing, we can never do it right. Anybody here did martial art for a few years, anytime? Anybody did martial art? I don't see any hands going up. Oh, where? Oh, okay. How many years, sir? How many years did you do martial art? Okay, you must be a black belt. Okay, brown is good enough. That's fine. Folks, thank you, sir. Now, when he asked him, when you got the white belt, and then your yellow and the purple and the green and the brown belt, from day one, after 7 years, if he goes in, he's doing the same thing what he learned the first in white belt. And what is that? Block, punch, block, punch, block. What he learned in the white belt, he's practicing after 7 years. Am I right, wrong? True? Yes, no? Yeah? Okay. See, folks, why? Because the teacher wants to get the block and punch into reflex action. Because the teacher realizes that if the student is in a street fight, if he has to think to block and punch, guess what will happen? He'll get beaten up. A martial arts student never ever has to think to block and punch. Their reflexes move. Sir, am I right or wrong? Say it loudly. Okay, there you are. Absolutely, that's the way it works. We want to get everything, all positive behavior, into reflex action. And those who talk of luck, they're the ones who do not want to accept any responsibility. I'll share with you a little example. Indian Oil is my client. I was doing a program for them in Assam. The facility is about 1 hour away from the airport. I was going back to the airport. My assistant was in front. I was at the back seat reading a book. And all of a sudden, the driver hit the brakes so hard, the car came to a screeching halt. My assistant went flying one side, my book went flying the other side, and I asked the driver, what happened? Of course, the conversation was Hindi, you all understand. मैंने कहा, भैया क्या हुआ? बोले साहब, बिल्ली रास्ता काट गई. तो मैंने उसको पूछा कि भैया अब क्या होगा? बोले साहब अब गाड़ी में रोक देता हूं, क्योंकि अगर जाएंगे तो कुछ अपशगुन हो जाएगा. तो मैंने कहा भाई मेरी फ्लाइट मिस होगी तो आज बहुत अपशगुन होगा. तो मैंने उसको पूछा कि मैंने कहा भैया गाड़ी कब तक रोकोगे? कहता है जब तक कोई. तो मैंने कहा भाई उसका नुकसान हो जाएगा. बोले उसकी प्रॉब्लम. He says that's his problem. Then I asked him कि भैया एक बात बताओ, मान लीजिए आप 15 गज पहले होते और बिल्ली निकल चुकी होती और आपने अगर बिल्ली को ना देखा होता तो आप तो सीधा निकल जाते. तो इन दैट केस आप ही की गाड़ी पहली होती, फिर क्या होता? This man did not take more than 2 seconds to answer, as if he had done PhD on बिल्ली. साहब 2 मिनट में इसने जवाब दिया. कहता है साहब उस हालत में बिल्ली की पावर कम हो जाती है. साहब आप लोग हंस रहे हैं, जानते हैं दुख की बात क्या है? इस देश में पढ़े लिखे PhD MBA यही कुछ कर रहे हैं साहब. आर यू विद मी? पढ़े लिखे PhD MBA यही कुछ कर रहे हैं साहब. और the one thing that our Indian media has done the biggest damage to our country, hear this carefully, the Indian media has done the biggest damage to our country is, साहब जब भी आप अखबार पढ़ो और जब भी आप टेलीविजन खोलो, what do you see? हॉरोस्कोप. बैठे हैं वहां पर शास्त्री जी, पंडित जी बैठे हैं. मैं साहब सबकी भावना की रिस्पेक्ट करता हूं, लेकिन मैं अंधविश्वास के खिलाफ हूं. आर यू विद मी? एंड इंटरेस्टिंगली वहां पे बैठे हैं, बोलते हैं हाँ बेटा क्या नाम है, बोलो कहां से बोल रहे हो, बोलो जन्म तिथि बोलो, अब बोलो जन्म टाइम बोलो. गुरुजी मालूम नहीं. बोले कोई नहीं हम निकाल देंगे, अपने आप निकाल लेते हैं. अब फिर बैठ के वहां पर टिक 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 करके बोलो बेटा तुम्हारा दूसरा तीसरे के घर में बैठा है, तीसरा चौथे के घर में बैठा है, चौथा पांचवें घर में बैठा है, दूसरा तीसरे के घर में बैठे होगा तो कुछ तो नुकसान होगा. पुत्री दोष, पितृदोष, पत्नी दोष, पत्नी कोई दोष लगा हुआ है भाई तुम पे. एंड देन ही से ओह शनि चढ़ गया भाई, शनि चढ़ गया, शनि चढ़ गया. बोले उतारने का उपाय बता देते हैं. एक काला रुमाल लो, काले रुमाल में काली दाल डालो और काली दाल में उसको काजल लगाओ. फिर काले बाल वाला कोई खोजो, उसके खोपड़ी 7 बारी घुमाओ. फिर काला कुत्ता खोजो, फिर काला कुत्ता काला बर्तन लेके उसके पीछे भागो. साहब दिस इज सो इंटरेस्टिंग. उतारना चढ़ाना, उतारना चढ़ाना, उतारना चढ़ाना. शनि को ऐसे चढ़ा देते हैं एज इफ. साहब मैं तो सबसे बड़ी चीज ये पूछना चाहता हूं आपसे कि शनि को उतारना चढ़ाना इतना आसान है, तो एक बात बताइए, शनि अमेरिका क्यों नहीं जाता? साहब ये तो बताओ कि शनि अमेरिका इंडिया के बॉर्डर से बाहर क्यों नहीं निकलता यहां से? और शनि को उतारना चढ़ाना इतना आसान है, तो भेजो शनि को पाकिस्तान, सारे को सबको भस्म करवा दो, टेररिज्म खत्म हो जाएगा सारा। भेजो पाकिस्तान, सबको भस्म करवा दो, फिनिश। सब मैं आपसे ये बात इस वजह से कर रहा हूं, बिकॉज इट इज डिस्ट्रॉइंग आवर कंट्री। बिकॉज when people make mistakes and when things go wrong, rather than analyzing and accepting and learning from their mistake, they blame the stars. Are you with me? And they never learn from their mistakes, and they keep repeating the same mistake again and again and again. Are you with me? Are you with me? And सब दूर क्यों जाते हो? अगर स्वामी विवेकानंद की जीवनी पढ़ें आप, स्वामी दयानंद की जीवनी पढ़ें, गुरु नानक की जीवनी पढ़ें, they never believed in all these things. In fact, they fought against it. They fought against it. सब सिखों के परिवारों में ना कोई मंगलिक होता है, ना कोई शनि चढ़ता है, और हर शादी कोई मुखर निकाले बिना संडे को होती है, संडे को छुट्टी होती है, संडे कर देते हैं, संडे को छुट्टी करता है, फ्राइडे को कर देते हैं। एंड ना कोई मंगलिक है, ना कोई चक्कर है। एंड यहां पर मंगलिक हो गए, फलाने हो गए, ये हो गए, तो इसको उतारने का है, शादी करोगे मर जाएगा दूसरा, अरे दूसरा मर जाएगा, क्या करोगे? केले के पेड़ से शादी करवा दो पहले। केले का पेड़ नहीं मिलता, पीपल के पेड़ से शादी करा दो, वो मर जाएगा भाई, इसको पहले मरवा दो आप। एंड सैडली देयर वाज एन आर्टिकल दैट केम आउट इन इंडिया टुडे। साहब आप लोग सब पढ़े लिखे हो, आपके जरिए 50 लाखों लोगों को एक संदेश पहुंचेगा। इंडिया टुडे में एक आर्टिकल निकला था, ही सेड वी हैव बिकम सो, अंधविश्वास के अंदर फंस गए हम लोग। कहता है कि इन साउथ इंडिया, इन मेनी पार्ट्स ऑफ इंडिया टुडे, डू यू नो, इन टाउन्स लाइक, सिटीज लाइक हैदराबाद एंड मद्रास, 60 to 70% of childbirth are cesareans. You know why? पंडित जी ने कहा ये मुहूर्त ठीक है, इसी टाइम बच्चा निकलवा लो आप। Are you with me? Hello? Are you with me? This is going on. This is going on. सब मैं आपसे, you are principals, you are leaders, आपसे बात यही कर रहा हूं, क्योंकि आपके जरिए और 50 लाखों को एक संदेश पहुंचेगा। I mean, we are talking of education. And if we have read our scriptures, Guru Nanak, and they fought against it. गुरु नानक की एक बहुत पुरानी कहानी मशहूर है। एक बारी हरिद्वार गए गुरु नानक, और वहां पे देखा कि सब जल चढ़ा रहे हैं वहां पर सूरज को। तो गुरु नानक ने पूछा कि भैया क्या कर रहे हो? बोले हमारे पूर्वज प्यासे हैं, उनको पानी दे रहे हैं साहब। बोले पानी पहुंच जाएगा? बोले पहुंच जाएगा। तो गुरु नानक उल्टे घूम गए, और उल्टी तरफ सूरज की उल्टी तरफ पानी फेंकना शुरू कर दिया। तो सब ने, गुरु नानक सब ने, अरे क्या कर रहे हो, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है। तो उन्होंने पूछा गुरु नानक से कि आप क्या कर रहे हो, ये तो उल्टी तरफ पानी दे रहे हो। बोले मैं तो अपने खेतों को पानी दे रहा हूं भाई। बोले खेत कहाँ हैं आपके? बोले पंजाब में। बोले पंजाब पानी पहुंच जाएगा? बोले अगर आपका वहां पहुंच जाएगा तो मेरा पंजाब क्यों नहीं पहुंचेगा? सब आज इतना अंधविश्वास हो चुका है। सेल्फ प्रोक्लेम्ड बाबा आ गए, महाराज आ गए, सारे सब, और वहां पर जो भगवा पहन लिया जे सब उसके पांव पकड़ रहे हैं साहब। जिसको जेल जाना चाहिए उसके पांव पकड़ रहे हैं वहां पर। और जाइए वहां पर जाके क्या करते हैं, कोई बाबा जो है वहां पर, महाराज बाबू साधा स्वामी वहां बैठ के प्रीत बेच रहा है। बोले प्रीत 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 बेचो, प्रीत बेचो, प्रीत बेचो। एक बाबा हनी बेच रहा है, एक हनी प्रीत मिक्स करके बेच रहा है साहब। सब ये इतना अंधविश्वास हो गया है। मैं दोबारा से एक बात कहता हूं, एक बारी क्या हुआ, इस ऑन द लाइटर साइड एक व्यापारी था, गठरी लेके घूमता था, वहां पर घर घर जाके कपड़ा बेचता था। जैसे उम्र बढ़ी, थक जाता तो रास्ते में एक मंदिर आता था, वहां बैठ जाता था। तो पुजारी को एक दिन तरस आ गया कि भाई इसकी उम्र बढ़ रही है, ये गठरी उठा के घूम रहा है। तो उसने व्यापारी को बोला कि भैया देखो, मेरे पास एक गधा है, तुम जाते हो तो गधे के ऊपर गठरी रख लिया करो, तुम्हारा बोझ कम हो जाएगा। तो बहुत खुश हो गया व्यापारी, चला गया भाई, गधे के ऊपर गठरी रखता था। जब खुद थक जाता था खुद भी गधे पर बैठ जाता था। लेकिन कुछ महीनों के बाद गधा बेचारा मर गया। तब व्यापारी के दिमाग में आया कि देखो, ये गधे ने जीते जी मेरे को बहुत सेवा की है और इसका अंतिम संस्कार ठीक से किया जाना चाहिए। तो उसने एक वहां पर उसका एक बना ली, समाधि बना ली साहब उसकी, और समाधि बना के वहां पर एक मोमबत्ती जला दी, धूप बत्ती जला दी, तो घंटी वंटी बजा के कुछ मंत्र मंत्र कर रहा था वहां पर। तो इतने में बगल से एक आदमी गुजर रहा था, साहूकार। तो उसको कोई पैसे की परेशानी थी, तो ये उसने मोमबत्ती यहाँ पर, सॉरी, बत्ती जलते देखी, धूप बत्ती जलते देखी, घंटी लगी रही थी वहां पे। तो उसने सोचा को महान आत्मा की समाधि होगी, चला गया वहां पर, जाके मन्नत मांग ली। तो साहब वो मन्नत पूरी हो गई। तो एकदम गांव में भाग गया, भाग के जाते, अरे तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो, गलत जगह पे तुम पैसे चढ़ा रहे हो, जाओ वहां पर महान आत्मा की समाधि है, चलो 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 चलो। मैं वो सबको पकड़ के ले आया और खूब पैसे चढ़ने शुरू हो गए साहब, यहाँ पर खूब दनादन पैसे चढ़ने शुरू हो गए। तो उसके बाद वो जो पुजारी था मंदिर में, उसको खबर पहुंच गई कि वहां पर कोई समाधि लगी है और पैसे चढ़ रहे हैं। तो ही बिकेम इंक्विजिटिव, तो आके देखा तो ये बैठा हुआ है वहां पर। तो पूछता है कि भाई ये किसकी समाधि बनाई तूने? कहता पंडित जी आपसे झूठ नहीं बोल सकता हूं, लेकिन किससे बोलना नहीं, मेरे पेट पे लात मत मारना, ये जो गधा आपने दिया था उसी की समाधि है। कहता ठीक है, मैं किसी को बोलूंगा नहीं। तो व्यापारी पूछता है उससे कि पंडित जी जो आपने वहां समाधि बनाई हुई है, जो मंदिर, वो किसकी है? बोले इसकी मां की है वो। तो साहब ऐसा है, हम लोगों के अंदर इतना अंधविश्वास फैल चुका है that we are not willing to accept responsibility. Folks, are you with me? Hello? And this is what so-called educated people are doing today in life. Okay. So one is positive mental attitude. My God, never realized on one positive attitude we could speak so much. We've gone almost an hour. Give me one more and I'll cover that one more. What additional qualities would you be looking for in this person who's going to work for you? Okay, folks, if there was one quality, many times I'm asked, if there was one quality that would bring success, only one, which one would that be? Folks, first of all, it is not one quality, it's a combination. But if ever there was one, I would put perseverance as number one. Now, I don't have a poster here, but folks, I have 50 posters outside. That's my gift to you, whoever they are. You can go pick it up. 50 posters outside at my table there. If there was one quality that would bring success, is perseverance. Folks, what is perseverance? Perseverance is the bounce back ability. Ability to come back. Folks, success is not measured by how high we go up in life, but how many times we bounce back when we fall down. That is success. Are you with me? Go check out, all success stories are stories of great failures. I repeat, all success stories are stories of great failures. Go check out anywhere. But they persevered. They bounced back. They came back. And they did it in spite of problem, not in absence of. And folks, who was the greatest legend in martial art? Bruce Lee. How many of you are familiar that Bruce Lee had one leg shorter than the other by 1 inch? Saurabh, you knew that? 1 inch shorter than the other. Folks, 1 mm, 2 mm, 3 mm can dislodge people. You can be disaligned. 1 inch. And Bruce Lee was nearsighted. His eyesight was minus 10. Minus 10. He could not see his opponent without lenses. He practiced 5,000 punches per day. And Bruce Lee said, I've given in my book, You Can Achieve More. Bruce Lee said, I'm not afraid of a person who knows 10,000 ways how to kick. He said, I'm afraid of a person who knows only one way to kick, but he's practiced that one way 10,000 times. That is a dangerous one. Folks, people like Bruce Lee persevered. Sir, I owe you one poster outside, and I'm going to give you my book, You Can Win. Can you pass it on quickly? You Can Win. This is a revised edition of my book. Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir. This is a revised edition of You Can Win. Thank you, sir. Oh, okay. Folks, not only that, this is not one example, folks. Look at the guy, you heard Michael Phelps. And folks, he created history after 36 years. But how many of you are familiar that 2 years prior to the Olympics, Michael Phelps fractured his hand? How many of you are familiar with it? Raise your hand. Okay, a couple of people here. Folks, Michael Phelps, when he fractured his hand, the doctor said, you cannot get in the water anymore. And he said, even if your hand does get repaired, question is, will it have the same strength? You are not competing with your neighborhood kids. You are competing at the Olympics. Michael Phelps could not see his lifetime dream shatter. He had practiced 10 years for this. He couldn't see his lifetime dream shatter. And I believe it was Abdul Kalam who said, dreams are not what come in sleep. Dreams are those that don't let you sleep. Are you with me? And he told the doctor, I will get into the water. I won't use my hands, I'll use my legs. He continued using his legs. 2 years later at Beijing, he created history. Won 8 gold medals. One of the events was 100 meters butterfly stroke. Guess what was the distance between him and the person who came second? Somebody give me an answer, please. Raise your hand. Folks, the distance was 1/100th of a second. 1/100th of a second. How do you calculate? I have no idea. You do it. And folks, it is attributed that when he had fractured his hand and he was practicing with his legs became so strong that at the last point, that's what gave him the push. Folks, when we hear real life stories of people like Bruce Lee, you want to check any more? Steve Jobs. You heard his story? The speech he gave at Stanford. He said, the day I was born, I was put up for adoption. I came to this world unwanted. Nobody wanted me. Folks, Henry Ford didn't go to school beyond the 8th grade. Walt Disney was bankrupt 7 times in his life. Folks, when you go back and look at life histories, for anybody for that matter, people like Bruce Lee or Michael Phelps, when we hear success stories of people like that, we need to redefine the word success. You know what it means? It means success is not absence of problems, it is overcoming problems. Are you with me? See, I repeat, success is not absence of problems, it is overcoming problems. They had problems. And probably many of these people had much bigger problems than you and I ever could have in our lifetime. And when we see our problems, we should thank God the problems that we don't have in life. Are you with me? We should thank God for the problems that we don't have in life. And they did it in spite of, not in absence of. All right, folks. I want to leave some time for some Q&As. It is 5 to 4. Saurabh, you put me on the mic here, and I've already gone 1 hour, 15 minutes. I think a little more than that. I think we'll just open it for some Q&As. Would that be okay? Oh, these are not questions. These are topics. These are topics, some of them. So why don't we just take some questions from the audiences. Now, but keep in mind, my qualifications, I'm not that highly educated, so keep your questions at 8th grade levels, please. Can you keep your questions at 8th grade level? Could I request you, ma'am?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Myself, Mrs. Maninder Kaur from KVS, Chandigarh region. And SHIV Khare, sir, I have read your book, You Can Win, and it is a fabulous book.
Grateful, ma'am.
It's quite inspiring.
Grateful, ma'am.
And it is a great honor for me hearing from you today in person.
Grateful, ma'am.
My question to you is, what change do you envisage should be brought about in the teacher's behavior as well as the student's behavior, and how?
Okay. Ma'am, obviously, there is a deeper question than what you just asked.
Okay, sir.
You see, you are looking to address a much wider national issue than a school issue. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So obviously, your question, the word said one thing, but the pain and the sentiment said something else, which is true. Absolutely, I'm with you.
Sure, sir.
Now, let me share with you one thing. I'm going to answer your question 2 ways. One time, a teacher asked a student, "Son, how do you destroy a country?" So the student said, "Teacher, that's simple. Throw a bomb on the country, everybody will be dead, it'll destroy." Ma'am, you can take your seat now. See, it'll destroy. He said, no, that's violent. What is another way of doing it? He said, throw a missile, everybody dead, then you destroy a country. He said, no. Any other non-violent way. The student says, I give up. And the teacher said, "Son, I'll tell you what a non-violent way of destroying a country." He said, just bring corruption and cheating, just legalize it. Hello? Just legalize corruption, dishonesty, and cheating in the system. And when the system is corrupt and cheating becomes the way of life, every person who graduates from the school system or college system, a doctor who comes out from a system like this, to them, a sick person will not be a patient, they will be a target. Are you with me? And a person who comes out of a system like this, to them, a person who becomes a judge in a system like that, they will give judgments, not justice. Are you with me? They will give judgments, not justice. And an engineer comes out of a system like that, their buildings will collapse. And a police officer that comes out of a system like that, they will be mafia in uniform. Hello? They will become mafia in uniform. And politicians who come out of a system like that, they will sell their mother for $2. They will sell their mother for $2. Folks, ma'am, the reason I said this was, when you talk of changing the system, you know something, all of us sitting here, we're all hurting. I bet there is hurt for everybody out there today. You know something, to change that political side, culture always goes top down, never bottom up. You need to change the political system. Without changing the political system, nothing will work. Are you with me? You have to change the political. And that is why, about 20 years ago, I filed a PIL in the Supreme Court. By the way, NOTA, I was one of the petitioners. And I have just filed one more petition with the Chief Election Commissioner now, only 2 weeks ago. Because the judgment that came out of Supreme Court was toothless. Today, all they have done is on the ballot box or the paper, they have given an option of NOTA. Now, today, even if NOTA wins, it's useless. So what petition I have given today in the Chief Election Commissioner on the direction of the Supreme Court, and that is, NOTA should be treated as a candidate. And in case NOTA wins, if NOTA gets the highest vote, then all these candidates should be disqualified from that constituency for that one election and one upcoming election. And you know something, today what is happening, 50% people vote. Average voting is 50%. And when people go to vote, they have a dilemma. By the way, this is my petition, what I'm repeating to you. People have a dilemma. Who do I vote for? They are all undesirable people. Undesirable people. Some criminal records. So what do? If you vote, you make the least undesirable win. You make the least undesirable win. Now, question is, that person won, was that your choice? Did you want him to win? Do they represent you? Is it in the national best interest? Answer is none of the above. So, and if you don't go to vote, you are not a good citizen. So you have a dilemma. If you don't go to vote, you're not a good citizen. And if you go to vote, who do you vote for? So now, if they don't go to vote, that is called passive protest. We have said the citizens must be empowered to do active protest. Active protest is go to the ballot box. Say none of the above. Kick them out. Kick them out. And folks, if we do, this will open up the doors for new people to come in, good people to come in, one. And two, it will force political parties to also field good candidates, because you know they will realize that the citizens are so empowered that they will choose voter and kick them out. They will say, let us put a good candidate right there. Folks, that is why it is so crucial. We have to get into the political system. There is no other way. At one time, I was heading a political party. I pulled out for 2 reasons, health reasons and financial reasons. I pulled out. But I've been called many times by many people to get back. But the bottom line is, we have to do it. There is no other way. There is no other way. It is survival for all of us. I don't know if I've answered your question, ma'am, but there is no simple answer by just saying, clean up this little area. What do? You gotta have, we got to do a much bigger thing. But thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Sir, this way.
Sir.
So just as you said, perseverance is the one best virtue, value, whatever, which is to be persistently worked upon. What I feel is perseverance एक constancy of purpose है एक तरीके से. How do you feel कि resilience is a part of it? That is bouncing back. What you said actually is a continuously moving towards the purpose, sincerely fighting for the purpose is a perseverance. But resilience is actually bouncing back. So maybe it is a part of that long process of perseverance, never giving up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Folks,
So,
the champion boxer once said, to succeed in life, we need 2 things. We need the skill and we need the will. Are you with me? To succeed in life, we need two things. We need the skill and we need the will, both. They're both important. One without the other will not do the job. But he said they're both important, but between the two, will is a little more important than the skill. Will is a little more important than the skill. Folks, he said, when I was fighting the championship bout and I was knocked down, and sir, I'm answering your question, and I was lying on the floor, and the referee was counting me out. Folks, he said, when I was lying there and the referee was counting me out, at that time, it was not my skill that picked me up. What skill? He already beat me. He said, while I was lying there, it was my will that kept saying to me, get up one more time. Just get up one more time. Just get up one more time. Just get up one more time. And just get up one more time. And just get up one more time. It was my will, not my skill, that picked me up. Are you with me? It was my will, not my skill. And that is what we are talking in terms of perseverance. Now, before I close this, I want to leave one more message, folks, and that is crucial. We took a company with a Swiss collaboration as our client. And I got a call from the CEO saying, Mr. Khare, can you do some sales training for our people? So I said, sir, tell me what is the end result you're looking for. Let me see if I can deliver. If I cannot, go hire somebody else. What training to do is my decision. Let me decide. So he said, I want my sales going up. I said, okay. And I said, let me shadow your salespeople. We did. 2 days later, I called the CEO and I said, sir, your people don't need sales training. I said, they need basic training in courtesy, etiquette, manners, integrity. He said, what? I said, yes, sir. I said, they need basic training in courtesy, etiquette, manners, integrity. He said, what does that mean? I said, hear it what it means, sir. I said, many of your salespeople have appointments. They're running late. They don't even have the courtesy to call and say, I'm sorry, I'm running late. 2, they walk in late, and time to call is when? Before you got late or after you got late? Hello? When? When? Before. And they walk in late, they don't even have the courtesy to say, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. And then, in case they call, folks, in case they call, what do they say on the phone? I'm stuck in traffic. I'm stuck in traffic. Now, folks, don't get me wrong. Traffic has become a real issue all over the world. That is true. But many times, they leave only 5 minutes before the appointment, and they blame it on traffic. And folks, we realize they don't have the guts and integrity to say, I'm sorry, I did start late. Hello? They don't have the guts and integrity to say, I'm sorry, I did start late. And we find only the first lie is difficult. Second becomes easier. Third becomes easier. Fourth becomes easier. Fifth becomes easier. And sixth. And very soon, you are dealing with a chronic liar who is a rascal. Are you with me? Hello? Hello? And folks, we learned one thing. People who lie also steal. People who lie also steal. And I'll share with you, this is epidemic. Folks, a few years ago, I was doing a program at the Lalit Hotel. And this is the Lalit logo. Folks, next to my bed, there was a side table. On the side table, there was a digital clock. Nice looking digital clock. But no matter how it is, digital clock in five-star hotels, they cost what? $50, $100? But that's not important. But the fact is, next to the clock, there was a big sign hanging like this. This sign hanging. And now, from this distance, you may not be able to read it, but it says here, this clock is hotel property. Hello? This clock is hotel property. Now, folks, I want to ask you one thing. Why do they put signs like this in hotels? Hello? Why is that, sir? People pack it. You think they do it by mistake? Hello? They pack it. Now look at this. Folks, they pack up. Now let me ask you, a person who's staying there is paying $500 a night. 15, 20,000, 25,000 rupees one night. Is he poor? Hello? He could be a millionaire, a billionaire. He could buy the hotel. But you know something? They pack up. They pick up things like this. Are you with me? Hello? And not only that, they pick up cutleries, crockeries, linens, towels, and you know, they bring it home and they show it to the kids proudly. They think they're smart. And they say, I collect souvenirs. And folks, there was a study conducted 19th April 2013. A global survey was done which ranked Indians as number 3 top hotel item thieves in the world. You know something, folks? None of us is proud of it. Are you with me? It is painful. This is painful. We are proud to be Indians, but there's no pride here. This is disgraceful here. This is shameful. Folks, I must confess one thing. Whenever we talk of values, I must confess I am not 24 karat pure. Hello? I am not 24 karat pure. And I don't know of any human being who is. But would you agree with me? There is a big difference between 22 karat and 8 karat. Yes, no. And does that mean I'm happy to be 22 karat? Or should I keep striving to be 24? Are you with me? We must look at it that way. And folks, I'll close this with one little thing. And that is, when we talk of values, you're all teachers, principals, mentors. It so happened that 7 years ago, one client enrolled into our program from Muscat. They were to send us 79,000 by mistake. They credited our account with folks. Totally by mistake, they credited our account with 11 million bucks. Only happened once in 40 years. Now, our accountant checked out balance and he sees 11 million extra bucks. He walks into my office and he says, we become rich. And he asked me, sir, this money came extra from so-and-so party in Middle East. And he asked me, what should we do with this money? Folks, let me ask you, doesn't he know what is to be done with that money? Why is he asking me? Thank you, sir. He is checking my integrity. Are you with me? He is checking my integrity, which is good. But then, instead of replying to him, I asked him, I do travel a lot. What if I'm not here? What would you do? What am I doing? I'm checking his integrity. And why should we not? Any organization that is not constantly doing that is not a good organization. So I asked him, and he says, we should inform them first because they didn't know about it. Folks, after he informed them, there was panic on the other side. It's $1 billion company, but 11 million bucks is 11 million bucks. Frantically, their CEO started calling our office. So our manager said to him, why are you so frantic? You didn't even know about it. We are the ones who told you. Give us half an hour, we will inform the bankers and get the money reversed. It only takes 30 minutes, doesn't take more than that. After the money got reversed, we asked them, why were you so panicked? They said to us, this part of the world, the legal system doesn't work, nothing works. We were concerned if we will get the money, will we get the money? When we will get the money, you could keep it for 10, 20 years, who knows what. And the amount involved was a little on the higher side. Our manager wrote a note to them and he said, look, we do programs in 20 countries. And he said, all our programs are based on integrity. And he said, we make it a point to practice integrity in our office also. And he said in the note here, integrity does not change with the amount involved. If it changes, if it changes with the amount involved, it only means we have no integrity, our price is different. That's all. Folks, I share this with you. As I said again, we're not 24 karat, but we strive to be 24 karat, our objective. Finally, he wrote a note in here. We may be stupid, but not crooked. Folks, you heard this one phrase, practice makes perfect. How many believe it's true? Raise your hand. Raise your hand, please. Okay, incorrect answer, one more. Folks, practice does not make perfect. Practice only makes permanent whatever we practice. I repeat, practice only makes permanent whatever we practice. Only perfect practice makes perfect. Folks, we took some decision in our office 40 years ago. A phone call comes into our office. I cannot take it. Or if a creditor calls, we didn't send the check. Our staff will not lie and say the check is gone in the mail. And they act surprised you haven't got it. Well, how could they get it when you didn't send it? Folks, if I teach my people to lie for me, a day will come when they will lie. When they will lie to me too. And every time they lie, and I make them lie, we both fall down a little bit in our own eyes. Our self-esteem goes, inferiority complex goes up. And how do we teach wrong values in our schools or in our offices or in our homes? I hope you agree with me. Children are not born liars. Would you agree with me? They learn. A child is this big. Never lied. Phone rings. The kid goes running. Is daddy home? Of course daddy's home. And kid goes running to dad. He says, Dad, phone for you. What did you say, son? I said, Daddy's home. Daddy says, son, go tell him I'm not here. I don't want to talk to him. But Daddy, you are. I know, go tell him I'm not here. But Daddy, you are. I know, go tell him I'm not here. But Daddy, you are. When the kid says the third time, Daddy, you are. Daddy says, are you going or should I teach you a lesson? See, folks, a kid is this big and Daddy is huge. First time in life, size counts. Size counts. Kid says, Daddy, take it easy, man. Relax, I'm going. As the kid goes, first time in life, the kid is confused. He scratches his head. Dad's here, but says, go tell him I'm not here, but he's still here. Go tell him I'm not here, but he's still here. His enthusiasm level goes down. He doesn't want to answer the phone, but reflexes take over. He has no choice but to answer the phone because size counts. And quickly, he wants to get rid of the call. He picks up the phone, and he quickly says, Daddy's not home, and he hangs up the phone. Bang. As he hangs up, Daddy heard that one. Daddy says, son, come here. The way you're going to put Daddy into trouble. And Daddy gives a nice knock on the head. Now the brain comes into the socket. Now the kid says, Daddy, no more confusion. Now you watch me, I'll teach you now. Next time the phone rings, the kid goes running, and they say, is Daddy home? What does the kid say? I'll check. I will check. What are you going to check? And now the kid goes running and says, Dad, phone for you. What did you say, son? I said, I'll check. Daddy says, good boy. Daddy says, good boy. Now, folks, good boy is an appreciation. You are all principals here. Good boy is an appreciation. Appreciation is a reward. Yes, no. Hello? Appreciation is a reward. And child feels good to do bad. What is he doing? He's not building self-esteem. He's building pseudo-self-esteem. He feels good to tell lies. He feels good to do bad. And before Daddy says a word, the kid says, Daddy, you don't have to talk to him. I'll just tell him you're not here. Daddy says, no, I want to talk to him. No, you don't have to. No, you don't have to. Before Daddy says a word, the kid is ready to lie for Daddy. And right from childhood, this kid is telling little lies. And by the time the kid becomes an adult, what does he practice? Telling. And he has perfected the art of telling lies. And every time the kid lies, he falls down a little bit in his own eyes. And by the time the kid becomes an adult, he has developed a big inferiority complex. And a day will come when he will sell his mother for $2. Why do I share he will sell his mother for $2? Folks, are you aware that the Indian airline plane that was hijacked, fake passports were issued to those people? We talk of terrorism. Who's the terrorist? The one who got the passport or the one who issued the passport? Took the bribe, issued the passport. 93 Bombay blast judgments are out, folks. Are you aware that 1,700 people got either killed or injured? 1,700 people got either killed or injured in the Bombay blast. And are you aware that RDX was cleared through immigration and customs and escorted to site by people in uniform? By people in uniform. And the money exchange was 20 lakhs. Now, when we have people living like this inside the country, do we need enemies from outside? That's the question. And what kind of person would do such things? Only people with low self-esteem. People with high inferiority complex will sell their mother for $2. Are you with me? Folks, if out of this program, if out of this afternoon, this program, if we take nothing else, but only this one thing, that if this behavior, let me ask you, the behavior that I just shared with you of this little kid or the office, did I cook up something that doesn't exist? Or it is epidemic in homes and offices? And do you realize in families, offices where this behavior is prevalent, the whole office is suffering from inferiority complex? the whole family suffering from inferiority complex, and where this behavior is prevalent in society, the entire society is suffering from inferiority complex. No wonder in this world, some societies are inherently negative and some societies are inherently positive. You know why? Because these behaviors go from one generation to the, hello? One generation to the next. And this is cancer. This is cancer. This is called suicide at national level. Hello? Folks, if this is what you got out of this, I think our being together would have been worthwhile. Thank you, sir.